Hello, everybody. What's up? This is Eddie from HCB Beauty. I have a very special guest with us today. We are talking about breast cancer awareness for the month of October because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I have very special guests with us today that I'm going to introduce right now. And we're going to get into a very serious but very important discussion. So good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Sergio. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
So you guys are related to beauty in a way of you guys come from is it the workout world? What's the right way to say your guys' industry?
Yeah, I would just refer to it as the fitness industry. Yeah.
Fitness industry. So please go ahead, take a minute, take a few to introduce yourselves, explain to the audience who you are and what your company is.
Yeah. So my name is Sergio, and
I'm Jackie.
and we own Surge to New Levels. That's a gym in Carroll Stream, and so our motto is "Strength does not discriminate." So as you can see here on her T-shirt. And really, we're in the business of getting people strong. And what strength does not discriminate means is that it's for all ages, all levels. It really doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is. Everybody has, we believe, a right to be strong in their own way. So whether that's, standing up after, an accident and not being able to, get up off a wheelchair, or if that's lifting 100 pounds or 1,000 pounds, it doesn't matter. Strength is for everyone.
So you guys do a combination of like personal training with physical therapy elements involved too?
So we primarily work with personal training. So we have like physical therapists that will outsource to, et cetera. So typically whenever we're getting clients that are like, okay, I'm cleared, but most of the time they're cleared to just basically be, working function. It's not really being optimized for actual, being able to do things. Maybe they get them to a point where it's like, okay, great. You're clear. You check off every box, but we help them get stronger so that they can really feel that from day-to-day life. So sometimes it's even, it could be moms and dads who or grandparents who have a hard time keeping up with their toddlers or or their grandkids, picking them up, being able to carry them without getting tired, little things like that. So it's a little bit of everything, and then of course we also help people get stronger if they want to get into like sports or athletics as well. So we have a lot of teenagers, but we really serve just a wide variety of different people from all different backgrounds.
Have you ever had to work with a hairdresser?
Yes.
I've had a few clients that are hairdressers. Yeah.
What nightmare is that?
Not a nightmare at all. But I know there's sometimes like shoulder pain and pain from constantly being in this position.
So like that's a good example of something where it's like a lot of them will have like numbness in their fingertips from impingements from being like in these positions all the time. And so being able to kind of like work with them and being able to get them stronger in better positions so that their days go by easier, they've seen that difference as well.
That's awesome. That's really, really incredible. How does a regimen normally look like? Is it I do an interview with you guys and then we discuss what the goals are, what the plan is, and then you guys schedule it out or lay it out? How does scheduling with you guys typically work?
Yeah, so essentially it's setting up a consultation where we meet the client and we show them around the gym, get them to know us, kind of give them an idea of what exactly they can expect. We always want to make sure that it's a good fit, for everybody. We want to make sure that they feel comfortable. So a big thing for us is making sure that they feel at home, making sure that they feel positive. And we really do provide an inclusive space that, really anybody, I mean, a lot of the people that we have come through the doors are always like, wow, I cannot believe, just how inclusive it is. I was so scared to come in because I had these thoughts and ideas of what a gym, was like. But everyone is super nice. And, we even have like, big all-time world record holders. And, we have one of the world's strongest women that comes through the doors, and you would not know because they say hi to you just like everybody else. And they'll ask you, hey, do you need help? Hey, like, what can I do for you? So, it's really cool in that sense. So a lot of them feel really comfortable with that, just kind of checking that out. And then from there, it's basically just scheduling and then setting up their first session and going from there.
That's cool. Is there a common theme that you guys see for a first-time person who maybe is interested to come in to get a consultation, but they're somehow apprehensive? Like, is there a common theme that you guys hear a lot? Like, I wanted to do this sooner. I wish I did this sooner, but
I think we do get that a lot, especially because we also host powerlifting competitions. So I think that's the side that looks a little intimidating because you see people squatting, 5, 6, 700 pounds. And then, so I think to like your average person that's like interested in starting, you're like, well, I'm not at that level. This isn't the place for me. But I think once you like come in through the doors, we're very like community based. So everyone's super friendly. Like once you walk in the door, everyone, introduces themselves, is very friendly. So I think like once you're through the doors, you're like, okay, this is not as scary as I thought it was going to be,
that's cool. How the first appointment for scheduling purposes, how long does that typically take?
Oh, it's anywhere usually from like 30 to 45 minutes. We got
It's
it.
pretty quick.
Yeah, we got it down pretty quick where we can ascertain within that time range exactly what we need to do with in terms of working with a client. Sometimes we'll take them through like an assessment just to kind of figure out, can they squat? Can they hinge? Do a lunge movement? Do these things? Because like I mentioned in the beginning, some people, I mean, it's the hardest thing for them to even just like get up off the chair, So from there, we can figure out, okay, this person, like we need to like move really slow with, or this person's already pretty clearly ahead. They have some experience. We can push them a little bit harder. But all of the movements, we're not reinventing the wheel. These movements are basic movements that are built, they're foundational strength exercises. We just simply adapt them to the person, as needed so that, they can slowly progress and find success in the gym.
I got you. So then, being that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and you guys work with patients that are potentially still in treatment and women who have, gone through treatment and have survived, and now they're in remission, how does that typically look like, when the first meeting with them goes, or putting them on some kind of a plan?
I think it's always educating. I think the biggest fear, first and foremost, is I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to like get in over my head. Like there's just a lot of if the average person is intimidated, I think for this kind of client, it's even more intimidating. And so first and foremost, our job is just to make sure that they feel comfortable, like we spoke about, but also to just educating them on, essentially letting them know that strength training is a lifesaver. Not just for like people that are going through, treatment, but also just for everybody and anybody, because especially in women specifically, bone density with age is an issue. So osteoporosis, etc. Like lifting weights can make your bones stronger so that if, you fall down the stairs, you're not breaking a hip, you got muscle to help catch you
Okay.
and avoid severe, breakages like that. Because, at 70, 80, 90 years old, sometimes breaking a hip can be, can basically kind of, put you at a point where you're just bedridden. So for a lot of people, bone density is a thing, but also just having more muscle in general, especially when going through treatment. The more muscle you have, the, you're just going to feel so much better. And this just, like I said, goes for anybody and everybody.
Okay. So then I just thought about this too. You mentioned a moment ago about it's for some people, it's even a struggle getting up out of the chair. So in addition to building strength, you're also talking about just core strength overall. So that's part of the process as well.
Yeah, it's basically like I mentioned, for some people, I mean, I have clients that are like, wow, Serge, like I was sitting, like I started training our neighbor, and she was sitting on the patio, and she was like, I was able to get up off the floor, with ease, whereas before I used to have to kind of grab onto something and pull myself up, and I wasn't sure if I had the strength to do it. She's like, now I was able to like go from that deep squat and just kind of stand right back up.
That's
And
cool.
she was like, just like, this is so cool. I had no idea. I think people have forgotten really truly what their bodies are capable of. And like I said, when they think the gym, they think bodybuilders and they think like, all these really strong powerlifters. But no, it's just really regaining like your sense of independence and autonomy in day-to-day activities, where you can be like, I here's another great example. I had a woman who was like, she broke both her wrists a year ago, et cetera. She wanted to get back into strength training, and she came in recently, and she was so excited because she was able to. She's like, I called all the kids, the youth from the church, to see if they could help me put up this cabinet. And they weren't reaching back, so I said, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. So she was so excited to tell me that she grabbed this, like, this cabinet, and she was able to like put, not only like, grab it, carry it, and put it where it needed to go, but simultaneously like drill it in.
That's cool.
And she was so excited about it, and she was like, it's because I'm like lifting weights. So it really gives people confidence too as well.
I imagine you just made me think of that too. In order to pick that up, put it up, drill it in, and everything. So you work with flexibility on people. I am not a flexible person, so I just my flexibility goes from my shoulders to the hair, comes back, with the blow drying. So do you guys work with flexibility on that too, like body positioning and flexibility?
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you're going through these movements, you're working overhead, you're working kind of in different new positions that maybe you're not used to working through. And then of course we do like static stretching and like dynamic stretching. But we go through those full range of motions to give people that flexibility that maybe they lost at some point. But it's just like anything, you just do it. It does come back.
It does come back. In the beauty industry side of things, when somebody unfortunately goes through breast cancer and they go through the treatments, it's amazing how things have moved forward nowadays with medicine, with technology, just with society in general. And it's amazing how much quality of life, how much more quality of life we can have compared to what it used to be. Where now we can have treatments like the hair to, we have foundations like the Hair to Stay organization who can do this cold cut technology and you can keep hair. And then we can add hair extensions on there. Or we can put wigs on, wigs have improved so much over the years. So in addition to making the client look good, you guys are actually working with the client to regain that strength. Because from what I understand and what I've learned over the years, those treatments really zap your body pretty hard.
Mhm.
So it's if we can, if you guys can talk a little bit about that of how going through the treatment is necessary, but how it takes such a toll on the body and how you guys work with people to regain that strength. I mean, that can't be an easy task. Where did that even, so like, if you can talk about that a little bit and what even got you guys on that direction to even work with people, for that purpose.
So I think originally, I mean, we didn't know someone that had been through this. So I think when we had someone close to us that got sick and started treatment, it kind of became a lot more personal to us. And one of my best friends was diagnosed in 2016 when she was only 22. And she was diagnosed with stage 4. So it was very serious
Wow.
right off the bat. Literally went from, and she was very athletic her entire life, played soccer, was in college, was, very fit and healthy. And it felt like from one day to the next, you know, she started treatment. We saw the toll it started taking on her. And even through that, like through treatment, she still wanted to stay active. She was still playing soccer. She was still working. She was still going to school. And that was actually the year that we opened Surge. So she was like really excited to come in and work out. So she's like, can you put me through workout? So I kind of had to learn how to like slow it down for her, like move at her pace. And I mean, I think that's really what like inspired us to like do more. And that was the year that we did our first breast cancer fundraiser that year. But I think like through her and like through her experience, like it just, you know, made us want to do more and like be more present in the breast cancer community and help more.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically it. And like just watching, you know, their interaction and their relationship, and like how just like motivated she was to, you know, continue working out and doing all these things was really cool. And like she was somebody that really wanted to like push through. And I remember she would be like, okay, we got to slow it down a little bit, you know. And so it was a really good you know, lesson and experience for us to learn how to, you know, help people. And I think she was just really a really good testament of like of strength in a way that I had never experienced it before. Because up to that point, that was almost 10 years ago. So I would have been 24, 23. And, you know, I thought strength was just, you know, because we trained with world record champions for powerlifting. I thought strength was squatting 1,000 pounds. So it gave me a new definition of strength.
You know, that's such a powerful message, that what you're bringing up, right? How much strength is really mental, balancing it out with physical? Like how would you guys say, in your experience in working with these people and rebuilding their physical strength, how much of that is also mental strength?
I would say in that situation, all of it is mental, because
All
I
of
think
it.
it's so easy to be like, you know, I think, you know, you think worst case scenario, like my life is over. Why bother? Why do this? Like I could just be home and do nothing. So the fact that you're even like motivated to show up, be in the gym, like that's inspiring for us. You know, we're like, we're just here to help you, but you're the one showing up and like, you know, and I think we see that a lot, like just that attitude. And like Stacy has that as well, where, you know, she's showing up, she's putting the work in, you know, and it's inspiring for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for those of you watching that are not aware, Stacy Stork, who, as many of you know, is the vice president of HCB Beauty, you know, along with Darren Stork. So husband and wife team, they started this distributorship, and they've been giving back to the Chicagoland area and you know, hairdresser community for man, it's going on 3 decades now. So it's really powerful. It's unfortunate when it happens to, I mean, it's unfortunate when it happens to anybody. It's devastating when it happens to somebody close to you. You know, to see her transformation go from being happy-go-lucky to, I mean, it's going to hit you in the feels, right? You're going to get depressed, you're going to be down. But then coming back to start working out again. I mean, just to see her viewpoint and positivity increase again. What is it about working out, or what is it about getting strong that you guys see that gets people that mental strength?
You know, I think that for a lot of us, we go through our life in fear of like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I can't do this? What if I fail? And there's a quote out there that says, I think our biggest fear isn't that we're going to fail. It's that like, what if, you know, what if we really have this success within us? You know what I mean? And so like, I think like, you know, that's really the thing, is like, once you know, people are you know, I think they hide their light, you know, and they don't really like put it out there as they should. And so, You know, when you really start realizing like, okay, I'm no longer hiding my light, and I'm really like just going out there and doing this thing and actually succeeding at it. It can be overwhelming, but it's also such a great feeling that it only snowballs from there, and it leads to so much more confidence and joy and happiness. And so, you know, by the time you realize it, you look back and you're like, wow, I can't believe that I was afraid of even stepping in through these doors at one point, because I've made such an impact and such a difference in my own life. And so I think it's, you know, I think it's just the ability to kind of bring that out within people that really makes us happy. And I think that's where like the real strength comes from is being able to realize that like all these things are within yourself. You just have to find them.
You made me think of something, especially now when somebody gets diagnosed with breast cancer. How soon should they start working out? Should they wait till they're in the middle of treatment? Should they start doing it pre-treatment? Like what is the recommendation?
Yeah, it's a good question. And so I'll preface this by saying, you know, we mostly do personal training. We're not doctors, but I will say number one, first and foremost, the people who have, you know, if you already start strength training, you know, and you are then diagnosed, you already have a dramatically like increased chance of survival because you have more muscle, you have all these things, and so that in itself already makes a big difference. When it comes down to once diagnosed, if you haven't been lifting or you haven't been doing strength training before, it really comes down to, you know, the doctor. And so typically what we'll look for is clearance, just to make sure like, hey, doctor says you're okay as long as you're not pushing too hard. They'll give us guidelines. And so I think it depends on a case per case basis, because, you know, obviously in the beginning, you know, it's a big life adjustment, and it's going to require that alone in itself is a big adjustment. But once that clearance exists, then it's like, okay, well, let's, you know, start up slowly. And it doesn't even necessarily have to necessarily be like strength training right away. It could be like, okay, let's just go on a walk, you know, let's just get moving. Strength training also doesn't have to look like weights necessarily. It could look like, I'm just gonna like, you know, sit down, stand up 10 times on my couch. You know, I'm going to, you know, that's a squat right there. You know, I'm gonna go up these stairs and come back down these stairs. You know, that's strength training right there too. So it can be progressive. It can be slow. As long as we got that clearance, usually we'll know exactly how hard to push a client.
Man, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. What is it during Breast Cancer Awareness Month? How do you guys, I know you mentioned that you like to participate and you like to try to be active. Are there some examples that you can share of things you guys do during this breast cancer awareness time?
So, do you want to start? Well, so truth be told, the last time we did our fundraiser was 2016, because
Mm,
after that, it just kind of got tough to like do it again, you know, given like the circumstances. You know, I don't know if you want to talk more to it, but at least for me, you know, I don't know, I just like, it was very, it's just really, I don't know, it just brings up emotions too that like I
mm.
even like when we talk about it now, I'm like, I'm not really quite sure how to put them into words.
So I'll share too. So that year that we did it, we, instead of just donating like to breast cancer research, we wanted to donate money to families that were experiencing, um, you know, that were going through this at the time. So obviously my best friend Marlene, was the person that like inspired us to start this, because we were, you know, witnessing like the medical bills, and eventually she did have to like stop going to school. Her mom stopped working to help her. So like obviously the bills just, you know, start piling on. And then someone actually referred someone else to us. She was a mom of three,
Mm.
who was also battling stage 4 breast cancer. And I mean, it was really hard. So we raised money. It was great. We brought our community together. Um, it was great. You know, like their families were there. They got to experience it. We like baked goods, we had raffles. The event itself was a lot of fun, but then we did end up losing both of them. They both lost their battle to cancer. So it was hard, like, experiencing that. But since then, we've talked about like every year, October is a really busy month for us, but every year we're like, what can we do? What can we do? So I'm really glad that we connected with Stacy and we're gonna, do something this year. And I'm like, we want to like remember the women that we lost, that inspired us to do this, but also like, keep pushing forward and helping more women if we can, and inspiring more women who are experiencing this.
It's such a powerful message what you're saying right now. Well, what both of you are saying right now. I know you guys have now heard me repeat this a couple of times already, but and I keep saying this during these interviews as well. Donating to a charity is amazing. I am not discounting that at all. Donating to a charity is amazing. Working with individual families and individual people is equally as amazing as well too. Being active and participating is not only about how much can you donate, how much can you afford in monetary funds. It's also about physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. There's so many different ways, to go through it. And we all go through it. We all go through it together, like as a community, as you said, being able to bring the community together in these hard times is powerful, is equally as powerful. I will dare to say sometimes even more powerful than being able to afford financially to just donate dollars, And again, I'm not discounting that at all. Every dollar helps, every dollar matters. It really is powerful. The fact that you guys are here today, the fact that you guys continue to work with, cancer patients and all kinds of people is absolutely amazing, right? And that's really why it matters, is to get people involved, to bring that awareness out there, to get people to participate with their neighbor, with their family, with their friends, with their community, so we can all help each other, because it does take its toll. It's not just a financial toll. It's a lifestyle change of the utmost degree that, God forbid, you don't have to be involved in it, but when you are, you don't realize how insanely of a toll it takes, on your personal life and schedule and just your time. You guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. So then what motivates, what inspires you guys? Like, what motivates you guys to keep your own strength and your own energy at because you guys got to come with double or triple or even quadruple the energy to be able to have enough left over to share that with everybody else that you work with. Yeah. So what kind of motivating or inspirational things do you guys do, or do you guys share with your clients that what are they called? You're in the fitness world. We call them
clients. Yeah.
Okay. We
Clients,
call them
yeah.
clients, we call them patients, we call them our adored crazies. I mean, we have such personal, right? Like, we have such personal connections with people because it's all physical. I'm cutting hair. You guys are actually, working out with them. So yeah, what can you guys share as far as inspiration or motivation?
For me specifically, I think, as it always has been, it's being in the service of others that brings me inspiration and motivation. I have always enjoyed bringing communities together, bringing people together. I always tell people that, the gym is really just a conduit for bringing people together, in a world where third spaces are less common than ever. We provide that third space for people to come in and to hang out and talk and socialize and meet other people that they would have, otherwise maybe never have met. And so I think like facilitating that process is really what like really motivates and inspires me, because I just enjoy seeing people happy. I enjoy seeing them all do well together. And like, even if you show up to powerlifting meets, like you'll see people like cheering each other on. It's not like it's competitive, but it's more like competitive against yourself. So people are cheering each other on and being like, hey, you can do this. Like, we have newcomers that are like, oh my God, I've never felt this much support in my life or anything. We just did a strongman show, which is basically kind of like, those like kind of like circus show acts you see with like the dumbbells, the big circus dumbbells and the,
Oh, okay.
carry the big stones and all that. So she competed in it on Saturday. So, and it was her first time. Yeah, it was her first time. So it was just really cool to see that and like just see people like trying new things. And like I said, like bringing that light out from within themselves that they're like, wow, I never thought I could do this, but look at me, I'm doing it. And so that's what I love. It just really makes me happy to see other people happy.
I think seeing other people feel so empowered in our space is like motivating for us. Like seeing how excited people are when they do something they thought they could never do. We're like, this is awesome. We provided the space and you did that. And so like to us, it's exciting. And that's what keeps us going.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a certain thing or is there a certain time where that it just clicks and you start to see that person, that light start to shine through that person? Is there like a moment that's pretty common for people?
Yeah, usually like when they hit a PR, which is like a personal record or a personal best, that's usually when you really see that, like, like they're like, whoa, or it could even just be like doing something they never thought they could do before. Like with Stacy, right now, like we're learning how to deadlift and she's like, I never would have thought I could do this before. And she's so like genuinely excited and interested. And she's like, I can't wait to do more. And like, it's just like, I think it's, for me, I also describe the gym as kind of like an adult playground in the sense that like a lot of us are just kind of bringing out our inner child and, just engaging in these things again, just like when you were a kid on the playground, like doing the monkey bars for the first time, being like, I did it, like I feel like it invokes similar feelings, but within adults, that's like, whoa, I didn't think I could do that, but I did it. Can I do more? Like what else can I do? It's just really cool, to see that like excitement. 'Cause especially like I said, nowadays, there's no third spaces. So people are just like either working or they're going home or they're just on their phones and like.
Well, and I feel like especially like for women, I feel like it's like you see way more women like in the gyms, like strength training now. And I feel like even a few years ago, that wasn't as common. So like seeing Stacy, we have a ton of moms, we have a ton of like grandmas in the gym and it's awesome. Like, these women had never tried this before and didn't think like they could do this. And now they're doing it. And it's just empowering, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool. That is very, very cool. Yeah. It's, it's amazing just listening to my clients talk about like, oh, what are you doing after this? Oh, I just got back from the gym, or, oh man, I was supposed to go to the gym today, but now you just blow dried my hair. It's going to get messed up. I'm like, go to the gym, come back. I'll blow dry your hair again for you. Like, don't let that be an excuse. They're like, no cheat day. I'm like, what is a cheat day? Learning all these new things.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It is very, very cool. How does somebody contact you guys?
Yeah, so we have a website, surge2newlevels.net. You can also, give us a call, 630-335-1748. We basically, we run the whole thing for the last 10 years. So it's very much a semi-private kind of like gym where we know every single member, every single person. Cool. Like every client, like we're there. So they can call us, they can text us, they could go on the website, send us an email. We're on Instagram under the same name as well. But there's a ton of different places where they can find us. And there's a inquiry form they can fill out too if they want to like, go to our personal training tab, learn more about what we do, fill out an inquiry form, and we'll reach out to them and get them started with a consultation.
That's awesome. That's really, really awesome.
Yeah.
You have an event coming up?
Yeah. Well, with the fundraiser, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, with What are you guys doing? How are you guys participating in that one?
Okay, so you know, as you know, I've been working with Stacy, and so you know, she's been a big inspiration to me as well. So I tell her that I feel like the universe brought us together because she really has made a big difference in my life and reignited my passion. You know, and in a new way that I you know, being in this 10 years, and you know, you just go through it all. You know, sometimes it's easy to stray away from the reason of why. And I think like Stacy brought me back to that why, and I'm just very grateful for that. So
Her
we're doing
energy is very infectious.
yes,
Her
yes.
energy is very, very infectious. She's very positive.
Exactly, a very positive person. So we had this idea where, you know, she was like, "Hey, we should do something," and so we've been kind of working on it together. And the more we talk about it, the more excited we get. So we wanted to do something Saturday, October 11th, where it's going to be kind of like a little fundraiser. And we're going to do a workout. So it'll be our first one since 2016. But we're going to do a workout. We're going to invite people from the community to come out. We're going to have vendors. I know she already mentioned that she has a ton of people that are super interested, that are flying in for it. You know, she wants to do like little like pink like you know, hair strands or you know, as she told me. But then at the end, what's going to be really cool is I'm teaching her how to deadlift. So her and a few of the other girls from the gym, they're going to do a little like deadlift only thing where they're just going to like progressively lift more. And so we're going to use that as a fundraiser to kind of like keep, you know, raising more money for charity. But my wife's going to do it along with her. And Stacy will do it too, which she's never done anything like this before. So, you know, I want to show her that she can do it. And I want her to show other people too, like just how strong she is, and, you know, like how much all this has really made a difference in her life. And I think it's going to be such a special and unique experience because she gets to do it alongside other women, and other women that are like, you know, I know when she first came in, it was the same thing. It was like, well, I don't know, like how I feel here. Like, do I really fit in? And now, like being alongside these women, like lifting these weights, you know, I think it really is a proper testament of our motto, you know, that is, strength does not discriminate.
It is powerful. It is powerful. And this is a shining example of how being involved, not just being aware, but being involved really, really matters. So that's amazing. And yeah, it would take somebody like Stacy to get you guys, you know, remotivated to do that. It is amazing, you know. Just like it took Stacy to get us connected, you know, and now I've had the great honor and the great opportunity of being able to sit down with you guys today and talk to you about all this. So that's awesome. That's very, very awesome. Well, I really appreciate both of you, Jacki, Sergio. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, you know, and help bringing that additional awareness, but also showing people examples of how you can participate and how you can get involved. So, and I hope that people watching this can get involved in your October 11th. What day of the week is that?
It's a Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Saturday.
I hope so.
Double check.
But October 11th is
I'm
what matters,
notorious
right?
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's amazing. So I hope everybody watching can free up some time in their day as well too, and come on over and hang out with you guys. And it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for spending time with us today. Thank everybody else for watching. The best way to support in your own local community, in addition to joining us and participating in our events, is to get out there and make a difference, one client at a time. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.